Imagine this. The difference between a cow producing 30 liters of milk each day and one delivering just 22 may depend on a single choice made in a field, long before either animal sets hoof in the barn. Silage quality isn't just another box to check. It's the foundation of livestock performance. When you get it right, you have a nutrient-rich feedstock with the power to sustain your herd through harsh winters and drive peak production. But if you get it wrong, you're not just wasting feed. You're gambling with your investment, risking spoiled, moldy silage that drains performance and profits. Every year, farmers face the split. Well-preserved silage, vibrant and digestible, or a pile that's spoiled, heating, and unfit for animal health. Today, we strip away the guesswork. We'll dig into the science and practice behind forage fermentation, microbiology, chemistry, physics, and every decision step by step. Because great silage isn't luck, it's mastery. This journey starts now.
Silage, at its core, is preserved forage. It's what you get when, instead of drying your fresh-cut crop for hay, you choose to ferment it. Imagine harvesting grass, maize, or wheat, and transforming it into a feed that lasts for months, even years, without spoiling. Think of silage as the pickling of grass. Just as cucumbers are preserved in jars of vinegar, forage is sealed and preserved by acids produced during fermentation. While the chemical details differ, the approach is nearly identical. Acid lowers the pH, hostile to spoilage, and your crop stays protected. The technical term for this transformation is ensiling. Here's how the process works. Once you chop your forage and seal it away from air, naturally occurring lactic acid bacteria, found right on the plant surface, begin their work. These bacteria feast on plant sugars and, in exchange, produce lactic acid. As lactic acid builds up, the pH drops from around 6 or 7 to 4 or lower. For spoilage organisms, this is a harsh new world. Most cannot survive such acidity, and so the fermentation slows and the silage stabilizes. What you have left is a feed that remains nutritious and ready whenever you open the silo, whether that's months or years down the line. But behind that simplicity lies a demanding practice. Every step matters, from harvest timing to chopping, compacting, sealing, and final feeding. Each detail influences whether you end up with an excellent, nutritious feed or face expensive, disappointing losses. Silage is a science and an art, a testament to how careful stewardship turns a fresh crop into lasting nourishment for livestock.
Every chopped blade of grass is a miniature laboratory. The moment it's silaged, a silent transformation begins, a race between time, oxygen, and billions of microbes. When fresh forage is packed into the silo, it isn't truly airtight. Oxygen hides between the leaves and stems. In these first hours, aerobic organisms, bacteria, yeasts, molds wake up. They use that oxygen to burn sugars for energy. But the energy they steal is energy lost from your silage. As these microbes consume the oxygen, they release carbon dioxide, water, and heat. Those first warm pockets in the pile aren't just a small detail. They signal that valuable nutrients are being spent. The longer air lingers, the more sugars disappear. Severe heating can even damage proteins in the forage, making them harder for your animals to digest. Every lost sugar and every damaged protein means less milk, less growth, and less profit. This early, aerobic phase can't be eliminated, but it can be shortened. How? Through tight packing and quick sealing, squeezing out pockets of air until oxygen is gone. When that last hint of air is used up, anaerobic bacteria finally take control. These probiotic-like microbes ferment the remaining sugars, producing lactic acid. The acid drops the pH, silencing spoilage organisms and locking in nutrition. Good silage isn't an accident. It's a chemistry lesson in every bale. Managing oxygen is the key, because the science doesn't just preserve forage. It determines the success of your harvest, your herd, and your bottom line. Lactic acid bacteria are tiny, rod-shaped organisms living on almost every plant, playing a key role in silage fermentation. Even before harvest, these bacteria are already present, waiting for ideal conditions to multiply and take charge. Two main types matter most in silage. Homofermentative lab are the champions, converting plant sugars almost entirely into lactic acid efficiently and quickly. Heterofermentative lab follow a less direct path, producing lactic acid, acetic acid, carbon dioxide, and sometimes ethanol, resulting in slower pH drop and reduced efficiency. Controlled amounts of acetic acid can improve aerobic stability during feed-out, but excess can reduce dry matter and slow fermentation. For most silage, it's best to let homofermentative lab dominate. The faster they drop the pH, the less chance spoilage organisms have to settle in. Understanding their science gives your silage a distinct advantage: quality and stability guided by well-managed fermentation.
Imagine a race against time. In silage fermentation, the pH drop isn't just a number. It's the heartbeat of preservation. The faster it falls, the safer your feed becomes. Within the first 3 days of storage, the silage environment turns anaerobic. Here, 3 types of microbes battle for dominance: Enterobacteria, Clostridia, and lactic acid bacteria, known as lab. Above a pH of 5, Enterobacteria thrive. They transform valuable sugars into acetic acid, robbing the silage of nutrition and slowing the critical pH drop. But it's Clostridia that pose the real threat. Given enough time and moisture, they convert proteins into ammonia and butyric acid, compounds responsible for that unmistakable foul odor of spoiled silage. Livestock turn away, and valuable nutrients are lost. Your goal is clear. Drop pH below 5 quickly, ideally reaching under 4.5 in corn silage. At these levels, spoilage microbes are locked out. The beneficial labs slow down as the acid accumulates, and stabilization begins. Silage reaches a steady phase, protected from further decay. For well-fermented grass silage, look for pH readings between 4.0 and 4.5. With maize silage's natural sugars, levels can fall as low as 3.8. These numbers signal success, a feed that's preserved, palatable, and packed with nutrition. When you understand the power of pH, you gain control over your silage's destiny. Rapid acidification isn't just a process, it's your foundation for healthy, productive livestock.
Oxygen is the enemy in silage. At every step, from filling the bunker to storage to feed out, oxygen threatens your hard work by triggering loss and spoilage. Why is oxygen so dangerous? The answer is simple. Once oxygen finds its way into a sealed silage mass, it wakes up molds and yeasts that have been dormant. These microscopic invaders start burning through the acids meant to preserve your silage. As they do, they generate heat, a warning sign you can feel, sometimes hot enough to burn your hand on the exposed face. When you see or feel that heat, you know aerobic spoilage has begun. Valuable dry matter is being lost. Nutritional value drops quickly. In the worst cases, mycotoxins, dangerous fungal toxins, can build up, threatening the health of your herd. Every management decision in silage making is ultimately about one thing: keeping oxygen out. That's the cardinal rule, the foundation of high-quality silage and healthy livestock. Remember it every time you handle silage. Oxygen is the enemy you must always defeat.
Imagine standing at the edge of a field, feeling the anticipation of harvest. When it comes to making silage, timing isn't just important, it's everything. Cut too early, and you risk losing essential nutrients. Cut too late, and the crop grows coarse, its energy and digestibility slipping away. The process begins by assessing the growth stage. For grass silage, harvesting just before or at early year emergence captures the ideal balance: yield, nutritional energy, and fermentability. For maize silage, the target is clear: 65 to 70% moisture, right as the grains transition from milk to dough. Moisture content forms the foundation of quality silage. Too much moisture, above 75%, invites Clostridial bacteria, the same culprits responsible for silage spoilage and nutrient loss. Too little moisture, below 55 to 60%, leaves air pockets that foster aerobic spoilage. Proper compaction becomes impossible, jeopardizing the entire batch. Science guides every step. In horizontal silos, aim for 65 to 70% moisture. In tower silos, slightly lower, 63 to 68%. Reaching these ranges isn't accidental. Farmers often wilt their forage, leaving the cut crop in the field for a few hours. Even this brief period can transform the dry matter content, dramatically impacting fermentation outcomes. To estimate moisture, a farmer gathers a forage sample and presses it in a bag, a simple test that reflects the complexity of microbial activity waiting to unfold. Each decision, driven by careful observation and scientific understanding, crafts silage with optimal energy and nutritional value. From field to silo, every step shapes the product. By starting with the right stage in moisture, you set the foundation for exceptional silage, ensuring your herd receives the best forage possible and your farming practice achieves greater efficiency and confidence. Chop length. It's a simple concept, but it shapes nearly every aspect of silage quality and animal health. Imagine compacting a pile of forage where stems are too long. Dense packing becomes impossible. Air lurks in hidden spaces, hampering fermentation and leaving you with silage that fluctuates from good to questionable. Consistency in the clamp, now compromised. Next, think of forage chopped too short. Yes, it packs tightly, sometimes too tightly. Dense packing reduces the physical fiber in the cow's diet. Rumen health takes a hit, and with it, butterfat production. For dairy herds, that physical fiber is vital, providing stimulation for healthy digestion and performance. The right chop length isn't guesswork, it's proven science. For maize silage, aim for a theoretical length of cut between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch, or 6 to 12 millimeters. Grass silage should be cut around 10 to 25 millimeters. Wetter forage allows for slightly longer pieces, letting moisture assist compaction. Drier forage wants shorter chop, achieving the density needed for safe fermentation throughout. All these efforts depend on sharp knives. Blunt blades shred rather than slice, leaving forage uneven, difficult to pack, and risky for quality. It's a detail easily overlooked, but one with lasting impact on your silage's value. Every harvest is an opportunity. Choose the right chop length, maintain your equipment, and trust that your attention to detail will drive success, from clamp to cow. Harvest season demands precision and speed. The moment forage hits the ground, each passing hour exposes it to oxygen, steadily draining the sugars vital for quality silage fermentation. If you let the clock tick unchecked, you risk losing what matters most, nutrition and yield. So, how do you win this race against time? Rapid, continuous filling. Every trailer should move seamlessly from field to bunker, with zero delays between loads. Idle gaps give oxygen the advantage, increasing sugar loss and spoilage risk. But speed alone won't guarantee success. Compaction is your key weapon. Imagine trapping every molecule of oxygen, leaving your silage packed so densely that spoilage barely gets a chance. Use the heaviest tractor at your disposal, working in thin layers, no thicker than 15 centimeters at a time. Overlap passes systematically, covering every inch until the mass feels almost solid underfoot. Aim for packing density, at least 225 kilograms per cubic meter wet. Some experts recommend going higher for maize silage, up to 256 kilograms per cubic meter, which translates to 14 to 16 pounds per cubic foot. Think of this as armor protecting your investment. Poor compaction leaves cracks for oxygen to hide, inviting spoilage and nutrient loss. But well-compacted silage drives out every last pocket of air, safeguarding sugar reserves and setting the stage for optimal fermentation. Fill rapidly. Compact aggressively. Protect your forage and your farm's future with smart, decisive action today. Once the last load of silage is in place and compacted, time becomes critical. Every minute that passes without a seal allows oxygen to creep in, risking the integrity of your entire harvest. Leaving a silage clamp uncovered, even overnight, means every exposed surface is under attack by invisible aerobic deterioration. That's why modern silage films exist, designed with powerful oxygen barriers that far outclass standard polythene sheets. These films are the frontline defense, holding oxygen at bay. When sealing, choose high-quality oxygen barrier film. Overlap every join generously. Then secure the surface completely. Tires, sandbags, gravel bags, anything less, and you leave openings for air to find its way in. Pay particular attention to the shoulders and sides of your bunker. These are vulnerable spots. Tuck the sheets tightly. Create a seal that leaves nothing to chance. If you're handling bale silage, timing is just as vital. Start wrapping the moment each bale leaves the chamber. Remember, each layer of stretch film counts. Use no fewer than 4 to 6 layers of standard wrap, or 2 of a high-performance oxygen barrier film. Should disaster strike, a tear or puncture, repair it without delay. Even a small damaged spot is an open invitation for spoilage. A perfect seal isn't just a final step. It's the difference between quality feed and costly waste. Secure it properly, and you protect the value of your hard work every single day.
Silage making isn't just another part of livestock farming. It's a skill where precision makes all the difference. Decades of research have taught us exactly what separates excellent silage from mediocre feed. There are 5 core principles every successful farmer lives by. First principle, harvest at the right time and moisture. Aim for 65 to 70% moisture. Too wet and you risk bad fermentation. Too dry and compaction suffers, leading to spoilage. Test your dry matter, know your crop, and be certain before you harvest. Second, fill fast and compact thoroughly. Speed minimizes oxygen exposure. Thin layers and heavy machinery give you a tight, oxygen-free stack. Don't outpace your compaction capabilities. Take the time to get it right. Third, seal immediately and completely. Every hour counts. Gaps and delays lead to feed losses. Invest in quality film, weigh it down, and check regularly for openings. Fourth, understand the microbiology at work. Lactic acid bacteria are your allies. Provide them low oxygen, the right moisture, and a good sugar supply so they can preserve your feed. You're managing fermentation, not just storing grass. Fifth, manage feed out as carefully as filling. Silage can spoil quickly when exposed. Keep the face clean and moving, cover what's open, and watch temperatures. Always feed fresh. Silage is controlled pickling. It's nature harnessed for better farming. When your clamp opens in midwinter and smells sweet, when livestock rush for fresh feed and yield stays high, you'll know you've mastered one of agriculture's most rewarding skills.